Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another video. Today we are back making a tier list video, and it's the mid-season, so let's rank some drivers. This is just after the Hungarian Grand Prix, so it's a summer break. So let's do it, starting off with Mr. Alex Albon. And you guys know how I feel about Alex Albon. He's my favorite driver on the grid. But I think that he has a lot of good potential. He has showed this season that he is a very good driver. Getting out of that whole melting pot that was Red Bull, the pressure cooker environment, that was Red Bull. Now he's in a much more relaxed, much better environment with Williams. And that's brought out a very good side of Alex Albon, and a very talented side. And he has scored a few points with Williams, but he has had some incidents where it was a weird incident. So I do think he deserves to be on great potential. I think that is a pretty good side. Now going to Guan Yu Zhou. Or Zhou Guan Yu. I think that it's Zhou Guan Yu. Decent rookie season. Decent rookie season. But people hate on him too much, I feel like. He got I think 2 or 3 now points finishes with Alfa Romeo. And got into Q3 a few times. Not fully matching Valtteri Bottas, but that's to be expected. Valtteri Bottas is a race winner, and Zhou is a rookie. So I do think he's going to go in underrated. I do think he's going to go in underrated because he does have, I think he's either underrated or a good driver. He's in one of these two, but I'll stick him in underrated because he is a very good driver. People hate on him just a little bit too much, and I think that should be changed. I think he has good potential for the future of Alfa Romeo. So yeah, we'll see what he brings in the future. Now going on to Esteban Ocon. Esteban has had some good glimpses of pace throughout the season. I don't know if he's still ahead of Fernando Alonso. I don't think so. I think Fernando is maybe possibly just marginally ahead. And Esteban has shown that he can be quite difficult to be a teammate to Fernando. It's a weird situation with Esteban because he's a good driver but not a great teammate. So I think I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna put him with Guan Yu Zhou. Yeah, I'm gonna put him with Guan Yu Zhou. Maybe. I don't think he's actually underrated, but I think he's not a good driver tier. I think that's probably gonna upset a few people. But yeah, I think that he should be right there. Going on to Sebastian Vettel. Vettel's had some pretty good highs this season, and he's had some pretty low lows as well, though. Definitely much outpacing Stroll Boy over here, and definitely outpacing that Aston Martin, getting into places where it definitely should not. And that I don't think he's God tier. I think he will go at great potential. Stroll shouldn't be an F1. I think that's just common sense. Yuki Tsunoda, I'm gonna put also with Alex Albon and Sebastian Vettel a good potential. Obviously, by the way, I know Sebastian Vettel's retiring. I know it's weird to put him at great potential when he's retiring, but I think he's just a tier below a God tier, to be honest. But Yuki Tsunoda, what a man. I think he's still outpacing Pierre Gasly on the regular, to be honest, and he's much better than he was last year. Consistently outpacing Pierre Gasly, getting what he needs to get done at AlphaTauri, and that is basically getting in the lower points at least. And he's been doing that a little bit this season, so I do think he is in a good potential. Now moving on to George Russell. Great season in Mercedes. Great season. Had a few podiums. Got that pole position. Ooh. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if we'd put him in God tier or great potential. You know what? Since he dragged that Mercedes to a pole position, I'm gotta put him in God tier. He's a great driver. Good job, George Russell. Pretty good on his day, and almost every day is his day. Especially on Saturday, bring that Mercedes on pole, beating those Ferraris when everyone thought it was going to be a Ferrari circuit. So good on George Russell. You are in God tier. Now moving on to Nicholas Latifi. I think going off of last year, he would be here, but unfortunately, I think it is time for Nicky to go. He shouldn't be in F1. Yeah, it's just time now. It's time for Nicholas Latifi to leave, unless there's no one else Williams can get, which is wrong. It's probably gonna be DeFries or Sargent. Yeah, it's time for Nicky to go, unfortunately. As much as we like the GOAT Tiffy memes and stuff like that, it is unfortunately time to go for Nicholas Latifi. Going on to Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher got P8 and P6 in Austria and in England, P8 and P6 in Austria. But other than that, he hasn't been extremely impressive, to be honest. He said at one point we were questioning whether he will even get a seat next year, and I think that speaks for a lot of his season. So I'm gonna put you in good driver. Going on to Nikita Mazepin, which should be Kevin Magnussen. So let's just everyone just pretend that's Kevin Magnussen. K-Mag, very good season, kind of. Initial start to the season was very promising for him and Haas, getting that P5, P6, I believe. Getting it around his car around there. It was a very good start to the season, but after that, everything kind of started to fall through. Because it seems like Haas have just stopped wanting to develop their car, which is sad because they had quite a good car. So yeah, I don't think he has what it means. I think he'll be joining his teammate at good driver, because I think that his pace has slowly fallen off. To be honest, Lewis Hamilton, I'm gonna put him also in God tier. If it was any sort of question, that guy is. Him and George Russell are completely outpacing where that Mercedes really should be. In anyone else's any other driver's hands, it'll be around where McLaren is right now, to be honest. And that's not where they're taking it. They're taking it to P2, P3, George on pole position. So I do think that they are taking that car to lengths it just should not be reaching. So yeah, Lewis goes into God tier as well. Valtteri Bottas, living his best life in Alfa Romeo, getting out of the shadow of Lewis Hamilton. I'm gonna put him with. I'm gonna put him over here. I'm gonna put him over here because. Or should I put him in good driver? I'm gonna put him on good potential because he is putting Alfa Romeo back on the map ever since he got points, got into Q3 with them consistently. So move my microphone. Got into Q3 consistently, got into points consistently. He is the face of Alfa Romeo, and deservedly so. He is taking that car into places it really should not be. And Valtteri Bottas, great potential, great driver. Checo Perez. Now he's a very weird situation because potential was a very big side of him going into the season. The potential championship challenging Checo was there, and it showed in the first few races in Bahrain, running in P3, something like that. Before the engine just failed. Winning in Monaco, almost winning in Baku, almost winning in Spain. There's a lot of great drives from Checo, but he's fallen off recently. So I'm sorry, I'm very sorry, but I'm gonna have to put him in good driver. Just gonna have to put him there. Just gonna. Because he has not proven to me that he deserves to be any higher. Again, the start of the season was pretty good for him. Recently, completely fallen off, to be honest. Now, Carlitos Sainz. Carlos Sainz has had a good season, getting his first win and first pole position. But he's making so many mistakes throughout this entire season. It is dearly cost him points in the championship to Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, and especially to his teammates and the Red Bulls. So I think that Carlos is going to be joining Checo Perez in good driver. He's just made way too many mistakes that he can't make as many mistakes as he's doing right now. All the DNFs are stacking up. Some of the DNFs are not his fault, and I do get that. But it's starting to rack up now, and it's just too much. Mr. Lando Norris, I'm gonna put him in great potential, because I think that he is taking that McLaren to places it also should not be. Everyone forgets this guy got a podium. He's the guy that got the podium. He got a podium in a McLaren right now. McLaren is god-awful, I'll be honest. It's a god-awful car. And he's taken it to places it really should not be. And yeah, he is single-handedly kind of saving McLaren right now. Because his teammate, who we'll talk about soon, is just nowhere. He's not really anywhere. So yeah, let's move on. Let's go to Charles Leclerc. I'm also going to be joining the Mercedes duo. Sorry if you hear my cat in the background. The Mercedes duo. God tier, because that guy is taking it to places it kind of should be. Winning and getting podiums very regularly. The French crash was his fault, I'll be honest. But on that, he hasn't really made many mistakes. It's been kind of Ferrari's fault. With horrible pit strategies and engine failures, to be honest. So yeah. We'll get him in God tier because he definitely deserves to be there. Moving on to Daniel Ricciardo. I'm really sorry, Ricciardo fans. I'm going to put him in the second to last tier. I'm really sorry, but that's how he's performing. That's just how he's performing. He's been horrible this year. Consistently outpaced by Lando Norris. There were a few races where he did outpace Lando, and Lando beat him because of team orders, which does make sense because he's ahead of him. Which does make sense because Lando Norris is ahead in the Drivers' Championship. And Aussie fans, Stop making excuses for him. Stop making excuses for him. He's not good. He's not good in this car. Don't blame everything on bad tire strategy. Don't blame everything on McLaren. Don't blame everything on the weather. Don't blame anything on the track. Just blame him, because guess what? He's the one driving. He's the guy driving. He's the dude driving. He's the one controlling the car. And he sucked. I'll be honest, he's one of the worst drivers this season. That may be a little bit controversial, but he's one of the worst drivers this season. And I don't think he shouldn't be in F1, but he's been pretty bad this season. He's been pretty poor. Pierre Gasly. I'm gonna put in. I don't know. He's been really struggling this season, to be honest. And the Miami crash with Mr. Lando Norris was a bit weird. I'm gonna put him in underrated. I do believe he's underrated a little bit. But yeah, Pierre's a weird case. He on his day he's good, but those days don't really come very often anymore. Especially in this season. Last season they did come with some brilliant performances, like Baku getting that podium. But now the cars just don't suit him anymore. He's just not used to these cars. It's weird. His driving style don't fit these cars anymore. So yeah, he's underrated. Moving on to Fernando Alonso. We're gonna put him. Great season, by the way. Great season. Getting that P2 in Canada. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it because Alpine's race pace ain't great. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put him at great potential. Yeah, I'm gonna put out great potential. By the way, congrats on the move to Aston Martin. He's gonna be moving to Aston Martin very soon. I'm interested to see how that will pan out. But yeah, good potential on Fernando Alonso, just the tier below God tier, to be honest. And now Max Verstappen. I'm gonna put him at good. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna put him at good driver. Of course he is God tier. That guy can't do wrong. He just can't do wrong. He can't do wrong at all. That guy is on point this season. He's not making any tire mistakes. He's not really making any driver mistakes, except for that spin Hungary, maybe a few times in free practice. That dude's been by far, by a long shot, the best driver of this season. And definitely you can compare him to Checo and kids on it. Leading the Drivers' Championship by 80 points, which is, I believe the second largest gap going into the summer break in F1 history. So yeah, it's insane how good Max has been since those DNFs in Bahrain and Australia. That kid's been on it. He's been right on the pace, getting pole positions, winning from P10 to P1 in a track that everyone said was going to be Ferrari's track. Definitely helped out a little bit by Ferrari just deciding to not be a good team and putting Charles Leclerc on the hards. But that's still great performance for Max Verstappen. My, so far, driver of the season. And that's coming from a Lewis fan, by the way. I'm a massive Lewis fan, and this kid is amazing. This kid, he is, a lot of people are saying he's the second coming of Senna. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say he's the second coming of Senna, but he is definitely Senna-esque. He's definitely a brilliant driver, and I do think that he will win the Drivers' Championship this year. But yeah, that is all the 20 drivers of this season. Well, 21, including Nico Hülkenberg. But we don't have Nico Hülkenberg here. And Nikita Mazepin, ignore that. Pretend he's Kevin Magnussen. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching. Sorry, Ricardo fans. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below on where you would rank some drivers, what you would change on my tier list, and remember to subscribe. It definitely helps me out a ton. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.